I want you to imagine two people standing at the starting line of a race. Both have the same opportunity, the same distance to cover, and the same amount of time to prepare. Yet one will cross the finish line first. Why? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's the habits they built before the race even began. Success isn't something we stumble upon. It's something we attract by the kind of person we become. And that transformation happens in the habits we cultivate daily. Let's talk about the habits that separate winners from the rest. Winners understand that success is not an event, it's a process. They don't wait for the perfect moment to take action. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They understand that small efforts repeated daily lead to extraordinary results. Because here's the truth. Talent might open doors, but consistency keeps them open. Motivation is like the weather. Some days it's sunny and some days it's stormy. You can't rely on it. But discipline is like a thermostat. He keeps the temperature steady no matter what's happening outside. The people who win don't wake up every morning feeling excited to work hard. They just do it anyway. They set up habits and routines that make success inevitable. Winners don't obsess over the scoreboard. They focus on their craft. They know that if they keep improving, keep learning, and keep refining their skills, the results will take care of themselves. The people who fixate on outcomes often burn out or quit too soon. But the people who fall in love with the process, they become unstoppable. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want success, you need to be around people who think bigger, push harder, and demand more of themselves. Winners don't waste energy proving themselves to the wrong crowd. They build meaningful relationships based on trust, respect, and shared values. What separates those who win from those who don't isn't their ability to avoid failure. It's their ability to learn from it. Every failure is a data point, a lesson, an opportunity to refine and improve. Most people fear failure because they think it defines them. Winners see failure as feedback. Winning starts in the mind. The way you think shapes the way you act, and the way you act shapes your future. Successful people don't waste time on negativity. They don't entertain self-doubt. They protect their focus, limit distractions, and feed their minds with ideas that push them forward. Because at the end of the day, success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. So the question is, are your habits leading you towards success, or are they keeping you stuck? Your future is being built right now, one habit at a time, one choice at a time. The habits you choose today will determine the life you create tomorrow. Success is often mistaken for a one-time event, a lucky break, a big opportunity, or a single grand achievement. But the truth is, success is not something that happens overnight. It is not about being the most talented, the most intelligent, or even the most gifted. It is about being the most consistent. Look at the people who reach the highest levels in any field, business, sports, music, or personal development. They are not always the ones with the most natural talent. Instead, they are the ones who show up every single day. They put in the effort even when no one is watching. They stick to their habits even when they don't feel like it. Consistency is the great equalizer. It allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. It turns small, seemingly insignificant actions into powerful long-term change. When you show up every day and put in the work, even if progress feels slow, you are building something far greater than you can see in the moment. The power of compounding effort. Think about the way compound interest works in finance. If you invest a small amount of money consistently over time, it grows exponentially. The same principle applies to success. Small daily actions done with discipline and commitment compound over time, leading to massive transformation. This is why the most successful people don't focus on making giant leaps. Instead, they commit to small daily improvements. They focus on habits that build momentum. They know that consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Consider an athlete training for the Olympics. They don't train only when they feel inspired. They don't skip workouts just because they're tired. They stick to a structured plan, practicing their craft day in and day out, even when no one is watching. By the time they compete, they are not relying on luck. They are relying on the results of their relentless consistency. Consistency beats talent every time. Talent can give you an advantage, but without consistency, it is wasted potential. There are countless examples of highly talented individuals who never achieved success because they lacked the discipline to put in the work consistently. On the other hand, there are many people who started with average ability but went on to accomplish incredible things simply because they showed up and kept improving. Think of the best-selling authors who write every day, even when they have no inspiration. The entrepreneurs who wake up early and execute their vision with relentless focus. The musicians who practice for hours even when no one is listening. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it through their consistent actions. Success is not about who can do something well once. It is about who can do it well over and over again. It's about mastering the fundamentals and executing them with discipline. The hardest part? Pushing through resistance. One of the biggest obstacles to consistency is the resistance we feel when things get tough. There will be days when you don't feel like putting in the effort. There will be moments when progress seems invisible. This is where most people give up, but the ones who succeed push through these moments. They remind themselves that success is not an event. It is the accumulation of small efforts over time. They trust that every step forward, no matter how small, is bringing them closer to their goals. The difference between those who win and those who don't is simple. Winners keep going even when it gets hard. How to build the habit of consistency? Start small. The key to building consistency is to start with manageable action. Don't try to change everything at once. Focus on one habit and commit to it daily. Stay committed. Motivation will come and go, but commitment keeps you moving forward. Decide that you will stick to your habits no matter how you feel. Track your progress. Keep a journal or use a habit tracker to measure your consistency. Seeing your progress will keep you motivated. Eliminate excuses. The more excuses you make, the harder it becomes to stay consistent. Remove distractions, set clear goals, and hold yourself accountable. Focus on the long game. Remember that success is a marathon, not a sprint. Trust that your consistent efforts will pay off over time. Your future is built on today's habits. At the end of the day, success is not about luck or talent. It is about the small, intentional choices you make every single day. It is about showing up, putting in the work, and staying committed even when progress feels slow. Your future is being shaped by the habits you build today. If you stay consistent, if you keep pushing forward, success is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. So the question is, will you stay consistent long enough to see it happen? In the journey toward success, one of the most important lessons to understand is that motivation is not the driving force that will keep you moving forward. Motivation can be a powerful spark. It can ignite the fire to get you started, but it is discipline that sustains you and keeps the fire burning even when the initial enthusiasm fades. Motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves, driven by emotions, circumstances, or external factors. One day you might feel energized and unstoppable, ready to conquer the world, but the next day you might feel tired, uninspired, or overwhelmed. Motivation is a temporary feeling, and if you rely on it alone, you will find yourself constantly chasing the next burst of inspiration. The reality is, motivation alone will not get you to the finish line. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is different. Discipline is about commitment, structure, and consistency. It's the foundation on which long-term success is built. It's what keeps you going when the initial excitement fades, when challenges arise, and when you feel like quitting. Discipline is not dependent on how you feel in the moment. It is about doing what needs to be done regardless of your emotions. The difference between motivation and discipline. Think about the last time you set a big goal for yourself, whether it was running a marathon, starting a new business, or learning a new skill. In the beginning, you probably felt highly motivated. You were excited about the new challenge and eager to get started. Motivation made it easy to begin. But as time went on, you encountered obstacles. You faced fatigue, frustration, and doubt. The motivation you had initially started with began to fade, and it became harder to keep going. This is where discipline kicks in. It's discipline that keeps you on track when motivation is no longer there. It's discipline that gets you out of bed early, even when you'd rather sleep in. It's discipline that makes you do the work, even when it's hard. Motivation might have gotten you started, but it is discipline that will see you through to the end. Building systems to maintain discipline. One of the most effective ways to build and strengthen discipline is by creating systems that support your goals. Discipline thrives in an environment of structure. When you build systems, you remove the need for constant willpower and motivation. The systems you create make success inevitable because they help you stay on track regardless of how you feel. For example, if your goal is to exercise every day, motivation might get you to the gym for the first few days, but it won't keep you going in the long term. To ensure long-term success, you need to develop a system, a set of habits and routines that makes exercising a non-negotiable part of your day. You could set a regular time for workouts, create a workout plan, and even partner with someone who holds you accountable. These systems ensure that no matter how you feel, you'll continue to move forward because you've made it part of your routine. Similarly, if you're working on a project or goal, building a system for consistency, such as setting aside dedicated time each day for focused work, allows you to keep moving forward even when motivation wanes. Your system removes the emotional decision-making process. Discipline is about deciding in advance and sticking to your commitments, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Discipline creates momentum. One of the most powerful effects of discipline is its ability to create momentum. When you are disciplined and consistent in your actions, you begin to build momentum, and that momentum makes it easier to keep going. The more you stick to your habits, the more automatic they become. Over time, you'll find that the actions that once required willpower now happen almost effortlessly. Your discipline has built a rhythm, a flow that propels you forward even when motivation isn't there. This momentum is incredibly powerful. It allows you to push through difficult times and keep making progress even when things feel tough. Discipline ensures that you keep making forward progress every day, even when the road is hard. The key is to commit to showing up no matter what and let momentum do the rest. The key to long-term success. If you look at the most successful people in any field, whether they are athletes, entrepreneurs, or creatives, you'll find that their success isn't based on motivation alone. It's based on discipline. The best athletes don't wait for motivation to show up to practice. They practice every day because it's their system, their discipline. Successful entrepreneurs don't wait for a wave of inspiration to hit them. They work every day, even when the results are not immediate. Success comes from doing the hard work day in and day out, whether you feel like it or not. And the only way to do that consistently is through discipline. Motivation may get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. It's the backbone of your success, the key to pushing through when things get difficult. Success is not about being motivated all the time. It's about developing the discipline to keep going even when the motivation fades. When you build systems and routines that make success inevitable, discipline becomes your most reliable ally. It ensures that you stay on track even when you don't feel like it. So stop waiting for motivation to strike. Build your discipline, trust in the process, and keep moving forward, because that's the true path to lasting success. In a world obsessed with results and immediate gratification, it's easy to think that success is all about the destination. We're taught to focus on the outcome, whether it's the promotion, the paycheck, the trophy, or the recognition. But the truth is, the most successful people in any field don't focus on the end goal, they focus on the process. The key to real and lasting success is not in chasing an outcome, it's in committing to the process of growth, learning, and improvement. Winners understand that success isn't something you grab at the end of a race. It's built through the small, consistent actions you take every day. The habits you form and the way you approach each challenge shape your journey. It's through mastering the process that the outcome takes care of itself. The power of mastery over immediate results. Success isn't a one-time event. It's a process of continual growth, refinement, and mastery. Winners know this. They understand that while outcomes are important, the pursuit of mastery is far more fulfilling and sustainable. It's not about reaching the peak once. It's about building the ability to climb higher over and over again. When you prioritize the process, you embrace the journey itself. You focus on improving every day, on getting better with every step, no matter how small. Each day is an opportunity to learn, to refine your skills, to challenge yourself, and to move closer to mastery. Mastery doesn't happen overnight. It requires focus, dedication, and relentless pursuit. Winners aren't discouraged by setbacks or failures because they understand that each challenge is a part of the learning process. They embrace the struggle, knowing that it's all part of the journey toward becoming the best version of themselves. Why winners focus on growth and improvement? Winners are not driven by the desire for external validation or instant rewards. They are motivated by a deep desire for personal growth and continuous improvement. The desire for mastery, for being better today than they were yesterday, is what keeps them going. Growth is the true measure of success. Whether it's in your career, your personal life, or your relationships, the greatest satisfaction comes not from achieving a goal, but from knowing that you've improved, learned, and evolved through the process. Winners focus on growth because they know that mastery requires ongoing effort and a commitment to becoming better every single day. It's easy to get distracted by the allure of a big goal or a shiny reward, but the problem with this mindset is that it's short-sighted. Once you achieve that goal, you're left asking, what's next? But when you focus on the process, the journey becomes the reward. The goal isn't the end. It's a milestone along the way. Each day of growth, each lesson learned, and each challenge overcome becomes its own form of success. If you want to prioritize the process over the outcome, you must develop habits that align with your goals. Habits are the building blocks of mastery. They are the daily practices that will carry you through the inevitable challenges and setbacks. Winners know that success doesn't come from a few bursts of intense effort. It comes from sustained, focused action over time. Think about the habits of successful people, whether they're athletes, entrepreneurs, or creatives. They don't wake up one day and decide to be great. They have established systems and routines that prioritize growth. These habits aren't flashy or glamorous, but they are consistent and deliberate. They focus on improvement rather than perfection. Winners understand that the journey is not always easy, and the process can sometimes feel tedious or mundane. But by building the right habits, they make the process easier to commit to. They know that showing up every day, regardless of how they feel, is what leads to long-term success. The role of patience in mastery. Patience is another key element of prioritizing the process over the outcome. In a world that rewards quick results, it's easy to become frustrated when progress feels slow. But winners are patient. They understand that mastery takes time and that lasting success is built over years, not months. Patience allows you to stay focused on the process, even when results are not immediately visible. It gives you the resilience to keep going even when progress seems slow or non-existent. Success doesn't come from rushing through the steps. It comes from taking the time to learn, to adapt, and to grow. If you're constantly chasing results, you'll never give yourself the space to truly master anything. Mastery takes time. It requires patience, persistence, and the willingness to embrace the process, even when the outcomes are unclear. The outcome will follow when the process is right. One of the most powerful truths about prioritizing the process is that when you commit to mastery and focus on improvement, the outcome often takes care of itself. Success comes as a byproduct of the process. The more you invest in the process, the better the results will be in the long run. Winners don't fixate on the end goal because they understand that it's the mastery of the process that leads to true achievement. The outcome is simply a reflection of the work you've put in. By focusing on growth, learning, and consistent improvement, you create the conditions for success to unfold naturally. Success isn't about the destination, it's about who you become in the process. When you prioritize mastery over results, you're not just striving for an outcome, you're creating a life built on growth, discipline, and continuous improvement. The pursuit of excellence becomes its own reward, and the results will follow as a natural consequence of your commitment to the journey. Remember, success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Focus on the process, invest in your growth, and trust that the outcome will come when the time is right. In today's fast-paced, goal-oriented world, networking is often seen as a crucial path to success. The term networking is often associated with collecting as many business cards as possible, attending countless events, and connecting with as many people as you can. But here's the truth. The most successful people are not simply collecting contacts, they are building meaningful relationships. Winners understand that true success is not measured by the number of people you know or the number of connections in your contact list. It's about building relationships based on trust, loyalty, and a genuine desire to add value to others. These relationships are built over time, and they are nurtured through authenticity and a commitment to mutual growth. The difference between networking and relationship building: networking is transactional. It's about meeting people with the expectation of getting something in return. It's often short-term focused, with an emphasis on exchanging contact details and making a quick impression. While networking can open doors, it often lacks the depth required to form lasting connections. On the other hand, building relationships is about creating real, meaningful connections with people. It's not just about what you can gain from others. It's about what you can offer. True relationship building involves mutual respect, care, and a long-term commitment to supporting one another. When you build relationships, you invest in others, share your knowledge and experiences, and show genuine interest in their growth and well-being. People can sense when a connection is genuine. They can tell when someone is simply looking to use them to advance their own agenda, and they can also tell when someone is genuinely invested in their success. It's the difference between a transactional, superficial interaction and a deep, lasting partnership. Successful people know that while networking might open the door, it is relationships that keep the door open. Trust and loyalty are the cornerstones of real relationships. One of the foundational pillars of successful relationships is trust. Trust is built over time and through consistent actions. It's earned through reliability, transparency, and honesty. Winners understand that relationships are not built on superficial gestures or promises. They are built on the consistent, everyday actions that show you can be counted on. Loyalty is equally important. When you build a relationship, you are not just invested in that person for your own benefit. You are invested in their success as much as your own. True loyalty comes from a place of deep care and mutual respect. It's about standing by someone through the highs and lows and being there when they need help. In business, trust and loyalty are the ultimate currency. When people trust you, they will want to work with you, recommend you, and support your ventures. Loyalty ensures that these relationships stand the test of time, even when challenges arise. Winners understand that a loyal relationship is far more valuable than a network of shallow, transactional connections. Adding value to others, the secret to long-term success. If you want to build lasting relationships, you must focus on adding value to others. Winners don't think about what they can take from their relationships. They think about how they can help others succeed. They are committed to giving more than they receive. Whether it's sharing knowledge, offering guidance, or making introductions, adding value is the key to forming strong, meaningful connections. When you add value, you show that you care about the success of others. You become someone people want to be around because they know you will always bring something positive to the table. Adding value doesn't have to be about grand gestures. It can be as simple as offering a word of encouragement, providing a helpful resource, or listening when someone needs to talk. It's these small acts of kindness and generosity that deepen relationships and foster long-term trust. Winners know that the more they focus on helping others, the more their own success will follow. This is not about seeking favors or trying to manipulate others for personal gain. It's about creating a culture of reciprocity where everyone's success is intertwined. When you build relationships by adding value, you not only contribute to others' lives, but you also create a network of people who genuinely want to see you succeed. The importance of authenticity in relationship building. One of the most important aspects of building real relationships is authenticity. People can tell when you are being genuine and when you are simply putting on a facade. Authenticity creates trust and sets the foundation for strong connections. Winners know that being real, honest, and transparent is essential for building lasting relationships. When you are authentic, you allow others to see the real you, including your strengths, vulnerabilities, and values. This authenticity helps to create a deeper, more meaningful bond. It's easy to connect with someone who is honest about their experiences, their challenges, and their aspirations. Authenticity fosters a sense of mutual understanding and respect, making it easier to support one another in meaningful ways. In contrast, When you're inauthentic, people can sense it. They may feel like you are only interested in what you can get from them, rather than in a genuine connection. In the long run, inauthentic relationships are shallow and unsustainable. True winners know that being real is the only way to build relationships that stand the test of time. The long-term impact of building relationships extends far beyond business or career success. While relationships can open doors and provide valuable opportunities, they also provide emotional support, personal growth, and a sense of community. True winners know that relationships are the bedrock of a fulfilling life. They understand that success is not just about what you achieve, but also about the people you meet along the way. Building relationships creates a network of people who will support you, challenge you, and celebrate your wins with you. These relationships bring purpose, fulfillment, and joy to your life. In business and personal life and in all areas of success, the quality of the relationships you build is what will sustain you. Success isn't just about what you accomplish or how many people you know, it's about the relationships you build along the way. Winners prioritize relationships over networks, focusing on creating real, meaningful connections that are based on trust, loyalty, and adding value to others. These relationships are the true foundation of lasting success. When you build relationships, you build a support system that will carry you through the challenges and help you grow into the person you were always meant to be. So the next time you meet someone, don't just exchange business cards. Invest in the relationship and watch how it transforms your life. In a world that often glorifies success and shuns failure, it's easy to view failure as something to avoid at all costs. We're conditioned to think that failing is a sign of weakness, incompetence, or incompetence, a reflection of our shortcomings. However, the most successful individuals do not view failure as a dead end or something to be feared. Instead, they embrace it as a critical part of their growth and success. They see failure not as an endpoint, but as valuable feedback and information that will guide their next steps and help them improve. The truth is that failure is inevitable on the road to success. No one achieves greatness without experiencing setbacks, mistakes, and failures along the way. But what separates the successful from the unsuccessful is how they respond to failure. Successful individuals don't dwell on their mistakes. They use them as learning opportunities. They take failure as feedback and make adjustments, ultimately moving forward stronger and more prepared for the future. Failure is not the end, but a step in the journey. One of the most powerful shifts in mindset is recognizing that failure isn't the end, it's just a step in the journey. Every successful person, from entrepreneurs to athletes to artists, has faced failure at some point. The difference between those who achieve success and those who don't is that the successful ones understand that failure is just part of the process. It's not a signal to quit, but an opportunity to grow. Think about Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Instead of giving up after each failure, he saw each setback as an opportunity to learn. When asked about his failures, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His ability to reframe failure as feedback and keep moving forward ultimately led to his success. This mindset is critical. It allows you to detach your sense of self-worth from your failures. You aren't a failure because you failed. You're simply someone who has learned what doesn't work and can adjust accordingly. It's about recognizing that every failure brings you one step closer to finding the right answer, the right solution, or the right path forward. Failure as information, analyzing, and adjusting. The most successful people don't just experience failure, they analyze it, they take a step back and look at what went wrong. Instead of wallowing in frustration or disappointment, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this? What can I adjust? By treating failure as data, successful individuals are able to break down the situation, identify mistakes, and figure out what changes need to be made. Failure provides essential information that you can't get through success alone. Success can feel good in the moment, but failure forces you to dig deeper. It's in the moments of failure that you learn your true limits and capabilities. When you fail, you're presented with a unique opportunity to evaluate your approach, your strategy, and your execution. By being honest and self-reflective, you can identify flaws in your process and make the necessary adjustments to improve. Now, let's take the example of an entrepreneur who launches a new product that fails to meet expectations. Instead of abandoning the idea entirely, they analyze what went wrong. Was the product not aligned with customer needs? Was the marketing strategy flawed? Did they fail to anticipate market changes? These questions allow the entrepreneur to pivot, adjust their approach, and re-enter the market stronger, armed with new insights and strategies. Failure doesn't mean the idea is flawed, it just means the approach needs refinement. One of the key qualities that successful people develop in response to failure is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Resilient individuals don't let failure define them. They define themselves by how they respond to failure. The most successful people aren't necessarily those who experience the fewest failures. They're the ones who bounce back the quickest and strongest. Resilience comes from embracing failure as a natural part of the process, rather than something to be feared or avoided. It's about understanding that failure is temporary, and it is your response that determines your success. This adaptability is also essential. The ability to adjust to failure, make changes, and try new things is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. Adaptability allows you to turn your failures into stepping stones rather than roadblocks. By being willing to change course when needed and adjust your strategy based on what you've learned, you can continue moving forward toward your goals. Failing forward, using setbacks as stepping stones. The concept of failing forward is a powerful approach that successful individuals adopt. Instead of seeing failure as something to fear or avoid, they embrace it as part of the process of moving forward. Failing forward means that every failure, no matter how big or small, is seen as an opportunity to grow, learn, and improve. Rather than being discouraged by setbacks, successful people use them to propel themselves forward, making adjustments and course corrections along the way. This approach is not about being reckless or avoiding mistakes. It's about using each failure as an opportunity to refine your methods, your mindset, and your execution. When you fail forward, you are actively learning from each experience and using that knowledge to improve your chances of success in the future. Failure is not something to fear. It's a tool for growth. The most successful people understand that failure is an inevitable part of the journey, and they use it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. By viewing failure as feedback, they take the lessons learned from each setback and apply them to their future efforts. Rather than letting failure stop them, they use it to propel themselves forward, becoming stronger and more capable with every step. Success is not defined by the number of times you fail, but by how you respond to failure. The true measure of success lies in your ability to embrace failure as part of the learning process, to adjust, and to keep moving forward stronger than before. When you start seeing failure not as an endpoint, but as valuable feedback, you will find that each failure brings you closer to the success you seek. So the next time you encounter failure, don't see it as a defeat. See it as an opportunity to grow, learn, and move forward with even more determination. Winning starts with how you think. Your mindset is the foundation upon which your success is built. The most successful individuals understand that success is not just about talent, skill, or even hard work. It's about cultivating the right mindset. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions determine your results. Therefore, to achieve greatness, it is essential to guard your mindset relentlessly, protecting it from negativity, distractions, and anything that might hinder your growth. Successful people understand that they are the architects of their own minds. They consciously choose what they allow to occupy their mental space. They feed their minds with positivity, surround themselves with individuals who uplift and inspire them, and eliminate distractions that serve no purpose in their journey toward success. The mind is a powerful tool, and how you use it can make all the difference. The power of positive thinking. One of the most effective tools that winners use to guard their mindset is the practice of positive thinking. Positive thinking is not about ignoring challenges or pretending that life is perfect. It's about focusing on solutions, opportunities, and growth rather than dwelling on problems or obstacles. Successful individuals know that the way they think influences the way they act. If they allow negativity to dominate their thoughts, it will affect their actions and their outcomes. Positive thinking creates a mental environment where growth and success are possible. It cultivates resilience, confidence, and an unwavering belief that you can overcome any obstacle. By focusing on what's possible rather than what's holding you back, you shift your mindset to one of possibility and opportunity. This mindset enables you to see setbacks as temporary and solvable rather than permanent failures. When you feed your mind with positive thoughts, you train yourself to approach life with a proactive, can-do attitude. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded individuals. Another critical element in guarding your mindset is the people you choose to surround yourself with. The people around you have a significant impact on your mindset. And if you surround yourself with individuals who are constantly complaining, gossiping, or dragging you down, it becomes difficult to maintain a positive and growth-focused mindset. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who are growth-minded, ambitious, and supportive, your mindset is reinforced and strengthened. Successful individuals seek out relationships that inspire them to be better. They choose to spend their time with those who challenge them, encourage their personal development, and share a similar drive to succeed. These individuals serve as a source of motivation and inspiration. When you are surrounded by others who are also committed to growth, you become part of a collective energy that propels everyone forward. In contrast, spending time with those who have a fixed mindset, those who are content with mediocrity and resistant to change, can undermine your progress. Negative influences can make it harder to maintain your focus and stay committed to your goals. Therefore, successful people guard their mindset by carefully selecting the company they keep. They understand that the people they surround themselves with play a crucial role in shaping the way they think, act, and ultimately succeed. One of the greatest challenges in maintaining a focused, positive mindset is the constant stream of distractions that we face daily. In the age of information, distractions are everywhere, from social media notifications to negative news to people seeking your time and attention. These distractions can easily divert your focus and energy away from what matters most. Successful individuals know that distractions are often the enemy of progress. They are intentional about eliminating things that don't serve their purpose or align with their goals. Whether it's cutting down on time spent on social media, avoiding toxic environments, or saying no to opportunities that are in line with their vision, they guard their mental space from anything that could derail their focus or mindset. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, and the most successful people understand the importance of using their time wisely. They prioritize the activities, relationships, and commitments that align with their vision and purpose. By eliminating distractions, they create a space for clarity, focus, and intentional growth. Another essential way that successful people guard their mindset is by continually feeding their minds with knowledge, inspiration, and positive influences. They understand that the mind needs constant nourishment. Just like the body needs proper nutrition, they invest in personal development through books, podcasts, seminars, and mentors who provide insights, wisdom, and guidance. Successful individuals make a habit of consuming content that encourages their growth and expands their perspectives. Whether it's reading about leadership, listening to motivational speakers, or seeking advice from those who have walked the path they wish to follow, they are always learning. This continuous learning helps them stay mentally sharp, adapt to challenges, and develop the resilience needed to overcome setbacks. To consuming knowledge, they also prioritize self-reflection. Taking time to reflect on their experiences, actions, and goals allows them to gain clarity, make necessary adjustments, and reinforce their commitment to their vision. Self-reflection serves as a tool to ensure that they stay aligned with their purpose and keep their mindset focused on growth. One of the most powerful ways to guard your mindset is by protecting it from negativity. Negative thoughts, whether they are self-doubt, fear, or criticism from others, can quickly erode your confidence and derail your progress. Successful individuals understand that they must actively work to filter out negativity in all its forms. This means being mindful of the content they consume, the conversations they engage in, and the internal dialogue they allow to dominate their minds. They reject limiting beliefs and instead embrace empowering thoughts that support their growth and success. They surround themselves with positive affirmations, supportive people, and an environment that fosters confidence and ambition. Successful people don't allow negative thoughts to define them. They acknowledge them, challenge them, and replace them with empowering, solution-focused thinking. By doing so, they create an internal environment that is conducive to success, where they are free to pursue their goals without being weighed down by self-limiting beliefs. Your mindset is the most powerful tool you have in achieving success. It shapes your reality, influences your decisions, and determines the outcomes of your actions. Winners understand this and guard their mindset relentlessly. They feed it with positivity, surround themselves with growth-minded individuals, and eliminate distractions that don't serve their purpose. By doing so, they create the mental environment needed for success to flourish. Your thoughts shape your destiny. The more you protect and cultivate your mindset, the more you are able to achieve your highest potential. So take the time to feed your mind, guard it from negativity, and align it with your goals. Your mindset is the foundation upon which everything else is built. So protect it, nurture it, and let it drive you toward your success. In conclusion, the habits and mindsets that lead to success are not just about talent, luck, or timing. They are about consistency, discipline, embracing failure, building meaningful relationships, and relentlessly guarding your mindset. Each of these elements contributes to shaping the person you need to become to achieve your greatest potential. Success is not a destination, but a journey defined by the choices you make daily, the people you surround yourself with, and the mindset you cultivate. So if you want to win, start with the right mindset, prioritize growth, and keep moving forward no matter the setbacks. Thank you for your time today. May these principles inspire you to take action, to keep growing, and to relentlessly pursue your goals with passion and purpose. Thank you.